Hello everyone. Welcome to our Facebook Live. Welcome. I'm just going to wait until a few people jump on. It is bang on 7 p.m. That's New Zealand time, everyone. So I'll just wait for a few minutes. I'm just going to check, make sure that everything is going well and everything is live. So good. Okay, welcome everyone. A few of you coming in now, that's awesome. Just want to tell you, remind you, we are going live on Facebook and YouTube. We are going live using StreamYard. So in the comments below, click on that streamyard.com/Facebook to give us or StreamYard permission to see your face and comments when you comment, because I know there's going to be a few questions out there tonight. We have got Justin Pham with us tonight. He is the CTO at MVP Studio, which is a global software company that they've partnered with us at Industry Connect, and they run the internship. Okay, so a few of you are coming on. Awesome to see you, everyone. Hi, Juanita. Wonderful. Hi, everyone. Okay. So remember, just click on the StreamYard link in the comments so that we can see your comments in your face. So when you ask questions, we can see them. Okay. There's a little banner there just to remind you to click on that link. It's in the comments. You might have to go to the top of the comments so you can see it. Okay. Well, let's get started. There's a few of you on there now. So welcome everyone to our Facebook Live. We're going to talk about the internship at MVP Studio tonight. And I know there's a lot of you that have got back to me about joining this live tonight. So I'm sure there's a lot of questions out there. But to kick it off, let's just bring in Justin Pham, who is the CTO of MVP Studio. Just one moment. Hi, Justin.
Hey, Carla.
Hi,
hey.
How are you?
Yes, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I know you've got a lot on your plate with projects, commercial scale projects that are in the pipeline at the moment. So thank you so much for your time.
It's all right, my pleasure. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm really excited to to join the live session today. Just to share what I know, all the insights and everything that. All the questions that people may have about MVP Studio or about our enhanced, internship.
Yes. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. So I'm sure some people will be jumping on for some questions. So everyone, if you don't know, MVP Studio, like I said, they run the Structured Learning Enhanced Internship. And Justin is the CTO, the Chief Technical Officer at MVP Studio. So, Justin, just tell everyone a little bit about MVP Studio.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think for the people that they don't know about MVP Studio, so we are the software startup incubator. So basically, that's we build the startups and incubating the just from the ideas into the multi-million dollars business, and we have been successful. We successfully launched a number of businesses into the market. So which is recently that in the field industry. So one of that is the childcare industry. We have been transacting over $100 million of booking a year. Yes, and apart from that is we offer like the manage like the internship. So that is at the same time like during the time that we work with the startups, we found that studying with a business or studying with the career is actually something that's quite similar. And at the same time, there's a lot of talented people who don't have, enough experience and enough, skill set to get into the industry. Yes, why we think with the talents and the startups incubation process, they come together very, very well. So that's with the MVP studio. So that's exactly what we're doing at the moment.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing what you guys are doing. And, you've got commercial scale projects. It's not like little baby things. Really exciting for people to have the opportunity to work on those commercial scale projects.
Yes.
Yeah. So sorry, Justin, you carry on.
No, that's fine. Yeah, you go, Carla.
So just tell us why MVP Studio partnered with Industry Connect in the first place.
Yeah, well, I think as I mentioned before, during the time that we worked, with the startups, we think, like for the talent pipeline from MVP Studio, we found that there's we need a lot of talented people to join our teams, and at the same time, there's a lot of people who don't actually have enough commercial experience. From the company and from the employer perspective, when we get someone into our team, we just want to get them to be productive at day one. All right, and with a lot of candidates and talented people out there, they may have very strong education backgrounds, or they have a great degree, or they have some overseas experience, but when it comes into the community, or when it comes into the environment with MVP Studio or with some other company, they can really get to become really productive at day one. And with we felt that Interconnect, they creates really great platforms that connects people into like more commercials, and then helping people to gain commercial experience. All right, so so that's why we're partnering, and we believe that before the people that can join into our communities or into MVP Studio, they need to fully get trained. And at the same time, with the technologies that Interconnect you got providing, and from MVP Studios, it's pretty much aligned. I think about 90% is that we're using the same technology. That's the main reason.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's fantastic. That what is taught in our job ready programs align completely with the technologies that you use at MVP Studio. So kind of like goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Yeah, because from MVP Studios that our competitive is like the speed into the market. So that's why we're using all the cutting edge technology. We need to be the first one, get into the markets, and that's one of the reasons why most of our projects from MVP Studio, we're using all of the new stuff, like from AI, blockchains, and even in the software development, we're using all the new frameworks. That has been very, widely adopted across, different, companies, around all the countries that we're operating. So, and, at the same time, Interconnect, they providing, it's quite similar, technologies, and I think during the time that we advise to Interconnect got some new technologies that they can capture and stuff like that. I felt that's really great synergy there.
Yeah, great synergy. Just on that topic of the technology side of things, what kind of technologies, just to tell everyone, what kind of technologies are you utilizing within your commercial scale projects at MVP Studio?
Sure. Well, it really depends on the roles. Like, for example, in the software development, so we mainly build in applications on the web. So we call it a web-based application. So the technologies that we use, all the way from C#, all the Microsoft technology, C#, .NET Core, .NET Core APIs, and in the database we're using SQL Server, we use NoSQL, like MongoDBs, and with all the front ends, we're using React.js as the front end technology. And yeah, in the testings kind of area, that's we're using all the latest stuff on automation, like Selenium, Cypress. We're using like the .NET version of the Cucumber, like we use SpecFlow, Postman's for the API testing. With all the big data projects or for the business intelligence, we're using the Microsoft BI tools, which is like SSIS, SSAS, RS, and some Power BI. With the big data, we're using Python and all of the machine learning kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, this just like a touch base of some of the technologies that we're using at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, okay, wonderful. So along again with the internship, I know a lot of people ask what to expect and what does it look like. Because you're a global software company, or the internship is run remotely. Can you just explain a little bit around that, why it's done that way, Justin?
Sure. Well, I think the with MVP Studio, because like we have distributed team across different country. So we're operating in New Zealand, Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore, UK, and Ireland. So we have all the team members across different regions. So I believe that during the COVID-19, a lot of people they start working from home. But from us, from MVP Studio, we already adopt the kind of like remote working model. I think since 3 years ago. So we really start. We believe that in the way that the people they can access the information as anytime, regardless of where they are. So that's why we offer like the same remote working options to most of our interns, so that when they join MVP Studios, regardless of where they are, they can have the instant access into any experts or the core team members. For example, if someone is based in London or they're based in Ireland, if they want to see me, they just open the Zoom meetings and we can just see each other like this. And most of I think all of our team members, most of our meetings from MVP Studio, we run in this way. So we don't call it remote, but it's more like instant access into the information, right? Access into all the information from each other, from all the team members. Yeah.
Because I know that with the internship, you have set days for the global Scrum meetings, which are on a Tuesday and Thursday. So it's so great that you can just bring everyone around, worldwide into your Scrum meetings on a Tuesday and Thursday. Whereas, you couldn't do it if you didn't have this technology, could you?
Yeah, it is. I mean, in the at some degree, I think is they have like a better experience. From myself, if I want to see someone, instead of I need to go into buy the flight ticket to go into into that center or into that branch to see that person, I just need to set up the Zoom meetings or whatever the video conference that we're using. To see them. So that's bring a lot of great experience to people.
Yeah. What would you say is having someone join in the internship, right? Because I know there's certain things you look for as well. What would you say are the top 3 things you look for in an intern? That's working on your commercial scale projects. What are some kind of like attributes, characteristics that you look for someone? Obviously, there's technology, the technological side of things, their skill set. But what are some other kind of things that you as a CTO and your team around you would and mentors would look at with people? What are some of the main things?
So what I think like with 3 attributes that I'm looking for the interns, right? Yes, of course. First of all, apart from technical skills, I think first of all, it needs to be adapt into our community of the experts, right? With the like-minded people, everyone is supportive, and so that's the attitude is. I mean, that's my first at the top that I'm looking for. What the second thing is more about the taking responsibility. I think any one of us, we need to fully responsible into what we're doing. And at the same time with all the interns, when they join the MVP studio projects or whatever, if they want to commit into their career, they need to take, fully responsible for, what their actions, what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right? And yeah, I think the third attributes, I think to me, when I look at interns, is more like, someone, if they want to join MVP studio, I think they should have quite like a can-do attitude. All right. So some things, the people who believe that they can turn someone from 0 to 1, and that's exactly what our culture. Okay. So and look, most of the people in our community just like that. So that's why we create the tremendous success along the time. I mean, in the last few years, we makes a lot of great connection with all the people in the industry. They go through MVP studios, and they then they start working with all the different company across different country. We built a really great network there, and that's what our net worth. So we feel that we feel really privileged to have the connection with all the people across all the different country, especially in the tech sector.
Yeah, I know you have contacts as well in the Silicon Valley, don't you? MVP Studio.
Yeah. I mean, we got the that's the great things about our network and our community. We have access into all the people in Silicon Valleys, in London's, in Hong Kong, Singapore, all the tech center. So the reason is, I think with nowadays the technologies they bring us, very much closer together. So that's is like, for me, if you want to see someone in Silicon Valley, I don't have to, to spend a lot of expenses to see them. Actually set up the meetings and seeing that. So that's the same experience for all the interns when they join MVP Studio.
Yes, awesome, Justin. And just so everyone knows, you do the 6-week job ready program, either software developer, test analyst, or the BI data analyst, which is 6 weeks. Then you move over into the structured learning enhanced internship with MVP Studio. Okay, and that's a 3-month plus internship. So you're in an incubation process. That's what we like to call it. Is an incubation, a tech talent incubation process, because you get your skill set up to a point doing the 6-week job ready program that you're interested in. And then you go over into the internship, where there's a lot of things that happens in there. It's not just, the project that you're going to work on. There are actual workshops as well that Industry Connect have put together, that MVP Studio run as well for us, which is things like Team V, employability, life skills, things to do like CV writing as well. So there's a lot more involved in that side of things. So overall, in the 100% process journey, you're looking at 35% of your overall journey is done within the 6 weeks of the job ready program, and then the big 65% incubation process happens at the internship side. So we're getting you job ready for the job market. And I know a lot of you out there ask, do we, Industry Connect or MVP Studio, give you a job? We don't give you a job, we get you job ready. So there's a lot of things that go into that, involved in that, especially when you get into that internship. That's where I say that the rubber hits the road, and you're going to be stretched a lot, but it's a great place to be because you're getting ready for the job market. Now, MVP Studio, Justin, another thing is that you become a reference as well, a referee reference for people when they start applying for jobs, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, from MVP Studios, that's the we got a process that for people to get like a reference letter, and when they when they reach into the points that they need like verbal reference checks and things like that, we're still using the system to to check of their performance. All right, so why when you're talking about incubation process, I think that's really great things that I just want to add on top of it, like for example. Yeah, so the reason why we believe that, from MVP Studio, we are like the startups and the talent incubation process, because we believe that, for the talent or for anyone to become successful, they need to got the process. All right. Everyone, they have a different learning pace. Someone that takes a little bit, faster, or someone that learns a bit, it's a bit slower than other people. So there's no the fixed time for people to become successful. So that's why we create the models that we can continuously support, our interns into, of course, initially that they need to start, we say like 3 months, internships, but we create the models that we can keep, incubating them into they become very successful. All right. That's why we think the only way that the people they fail is when they give up. All right. As long as it's just continuing into working with us, within be surrounded from our community, that will be successful. And yeah, I think when it's success, of course, they need some briefing checks and stuff like that. I mean, that's some things we offer to to our intern as well.
Can you we've got some questions from people, but I just want you just to explain, because it's quite cool how you come about that reference at the end there, how that reference, because there's the underlying how that's done. So can you just explain a little bit about how that reference letter comes about as they work through their internship?
Yeah, I mean, like any other company, we work with everyone's based on the KPI. All right, a lot of key performance, index. That's we set the certain of requirements that for ours, not only for the interns, but only for our but also for our staff,
right.
Our team members as well. That's they need to achieve, and once they reach into that certain all the requirements, then they can unlock the reference letter, or we can issue the reference letter to all the members of MVP Studio. Okay. And yeah, so based on that KPI, we saying is the KPI. There's a number of different aspects that we're looking for, like for example, your commitment into the project, or how you communicate with with other, or how great you are as the team players. Okay. And also of course with the technical assessments and all the tasks that you complete, is that exactly how the company out there they they justify if you're a great staff or great team members. That exactly the same concepts that will apply for all the interns before they get unlocked the reference letter.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Justin. I think this gave a bit more clarity on how that comes about. And thank you for answering that. Now I'm just going to go up, because I know there's a few questions here that we've been asked, and I was just wanting to get through our conversation before I ask any questions. I'm getting to your questions, everyone. So Chris, recent user. For data analysts, we can see there is only one project in the internship. Just tell us a little bit about that. I know there's a reason behind that, Justin. Can you answer that?
Sure. Yeah, I think that from MVP Studio we run a number of projects that are available at the time. So it really depends on the times that the people they join the internships, which projects are available at that time. But initially, they're gonna join the project that's available as at the time that they join in, as the onboarding process. All right. So I believe that we're using exactly the same way, the same onboarding process that how we onboard our new team members to join our team. So we adopt exactly the same approach. So they need to start with one project, to gain all of the like we call it essential knowledge of the projects, like domain knowledge, all the technologies that use. And then, when they complete all the sprints, okay, then they can start moving into, all the different core teams is available at the time that they complete it. But yeah, I think it's really subject into the availabilities of the project at the time that the people they join in.
Thanks for that. That makes total sense. Total sense. Thanks, Justin. Just going down the comments, everyone. Janaki, she's asking, for members in Wellington, how often can we meet our mentors in person?
Yeah, so I guess it's the everyone's when they first joined MVP Studios, they get assigned into a mentor. That's who actually more seniors and who's willing to support them, to solve the problems that's the member have. All right. But yeah, I mean, it really depends on the mentors and mentee arrangements. It's sometimes they can meet on daily basis, or they can meet like once a week, or twice a week, or 3 or 4 times a week. It really depends on how much need help. But initially we got all the process in place that for people, if they need some support or if they need some help, they got this is the first step, then you need to do this is the second step, and this is the third step. So we got all the processes in place. But yeah, I mean, this really depends on how the mentor is mentee, the arrangements. So I mean, as I mentioned initially, all of the meetings, from MVP Studio, including the mentor and mentee, interaction and meeting, is going through something like, on Zoom like this. I mean, it's really great way of, we can, allow people to assess the great talent. Like for example, if you need the best mentee, the best mentor about this topics, you can easily assess them regardless of where you are.
So I think, Janaki, you would connect with your mentor and just have a conversation around that. I think, like Justin just said, it's between you and your mentor, and great to just jump on a Zoom quickly if you're stuck on something, to get it out of the way and be able to move on from that. Okay, thank you so much, Justin. Just moving on down we've got some more questions here. Kushan is asking, can we do internship full time? If so, how long do they have to spend daily on it?
Right. So, yeah, I mean, from MVP Studio, we create really flexible, internship structure that's allow people that they can join, they can conduct the internships either part-time, full-times, or regardless of how many hours they put in. But of course, the more hours that they put in, I think the faster results that, or the more knowledge gain eventually. So but initially we allow people to put like 40 hours a week if they wanted to work full-time. It doesn't matter is it like the business hours or after hours, as long as they can commit to like 40 hours a week. But if the people they can't do that, they can do like 20 hours or 10 hours or 15 hours, as long as as I mentioned before, they just keep committed into the process, then they will get there. Okay,
awesome. Thanks so much, Justin. That's great. Just moving on down. Great. Okay. Kushan again, if we've got a problem with our assignment, can we talk to our peers straight away?
All right. So, yeah, I mean, from MVP Studios, we are, the company, all right? So we don't, give people assignments. We're not, university, or we're not like the classrooms kind of things. So when you come into MVP Studio, we will get assigned to a task that you need to work on, all right? If you had the problem with the task, of course, you have access into our internal knowledge base. That is our core team, is always available there for people to ask questions, to answer the questions. And, with the peers, like the people who like the interns at the same time, of course, we have the different channel that they can, sharing the problems, sharing the solution. Like we use Slack as our, key communication, messaging tools. And apart from that, we got the meetings as well as our dedicated time from our core team or the senior team members, available for people to ask questions.
Thanks, Justin. Awesome. Ramandeep has a question. After completing the 3-month course, can we get internships right away? Okay, I'm just going to answer a little bit of this, Ramandeep. So the Job Ready program is 6 weeks in length. The 3-month plus refers to the internship. Does that make sense? So you go straight over into your internship, which is what we call a structured learning enhanced internship. And you go straight over after you complete a 6-week Job Ready program with Industry Connect. You go straight over into the internship. So I hope that helps you, Ramandeep. What is the duration of the internship?
Cool. Yeah, I think that's as we mentioned before, when people they start joining MVP Studio for the internship, they're gonna sign like 3 months agreements with MVP Studio, and as I mentioned before, that we got all the KPIs, all the performance, in place that we can track, all the interns' activities and all the intern performance. But just in case that for example, if someone they take a little bit longer, like for example, someone take a bit 4 months or 5 months, to be able to get the position or to get the job, then we're happy to renew the contracts based on the performance. All right, but so far as that, as I mentioned before, we're happy to continuously support all the interns who have the great attitudes, who really committed, to continue until they're successful.
Wonderful. Thanks, Justin. What happens? Another question. What happens after the 3-month internship and I still don't have a job? I suppose you just kind of like answered that you support them until they get a job. You review. So what is the process with getting an extension to your internship? They've got to apply to get an extension to that?
Yeah, I think as I already answered from the previous questions, the duration of the internship. So when the internship expire, they will get notified, and we're gonna ask them to if they wanted to renew. All right, okay. So if their performance is great, all right, so then of course we can just renew the contracts and continue supporting them.
Awesome. Thanks, Justin. Chris is asking again, what is the success rate of getting jobs after completing our internship? I'm just going to answer that. I think Justin's already answered the internship side of things. But Chris, I just want to say that everyone's journey is different. Like Justin did say at the beginning that, some people will pick up things and they'll be more confident to start applying for jobs straight away. Not straight away, but at that 3-month mark. Some people might not be that confident, maybe in their soft skills, maybe a little bit in their technical, and it might take them a little bit longer. So it's kind of hard to say, how long it's going to take. Okay, Chris. So it's all up to the individual, their commitment, and like Justin said just before, the more time you can put into the internship, obviously you're going to be accelerated through it, and you'll get more experience under your belt. You'll feel more confident, and then you can start applying for jobs quicker. If that makes sense, Chris. Hopefully that makes sense. Did you have anything to add, Justin?
Yeah, well, I think like anything else, you only fail when you give up, right?
Yes.
It's like you can just keep, fighting, and you keep adding your effort into some things. Like for example, if this is your employability rate, right? If you can just keep learning, keep adding, knowledge into your mind, so it's just keep going up into the points that you become employable. All right. So that's is the great things about the models that from MVP Studio. We, so far we never kick people out, and unless that they just want to give up. Okay, but yeah, along the times that if they don't give up, I mean, eventually they will get the position. All right. So that's what our I mean, that's just something that I can add, like my 2 cents.
Yeah, it's a great 2 cents, Justin. Thank you for that. Radhika is asking, can we have more info about employer network? How does it work?
Yeah, I think as I mentioned before, from MVP Studios, like we work with all the different projects. We're partnering with all the different industry. So some of the things that we call like a global talent. Okay, so the global talent team they're working very closely with MVP Studio. So whenever we got we have like the first. I think global talent, they got the first access into the candidate. That's who are really great, or the top intern from MVP Studio. When they reach into the certain level, then they will get referred directly into the global talent, and that is how the global talent is the recruitment company. They start bringing the people closer into the employer. So that is what I was partnering with the global talent, and also we build the software for them to actually just push the talents going out of the market. All right, and along the times, as we mentioned before, is we have the great connection with all the people in the industry, especially everyone who graduating or not graduating, but they go through our process and they get the positions out there working in the tech sector. Then there's also the great connections. Whenever they need some people, they normally come back to MVP Studios and they say, hey, look, I need some of the like the test analyst, or the software developer, or data analyst, or BI developer. So we normally refer them back into global talent, and they can start building a connection from there. All right, so that's just how we connect. Not only from like one employer, but that's just how we use a global talent to connect to all the different employers. That's just how employer network.
Wonderful, awesome. Thank you so much, Justin, for that. I'll just add to that too, Radhika. As well as that employer network, you still need to do your own kind of search for those positions that are out there as well. So we encourage people to do their own due diligence and look for those positions out there, whatever platform, whether it's Seek, whether it's Gumtree, whether it's Trade Me, whatever platforms are in your specific country. Okay.
Yeah. So I believe that like when people they have the great technical knowledge, right? They have the great technical skills. They gain a lot of commercial experience. I mean, there's heaps of opportunity in the market. That for people they can just apply. All right.
Yes.
Because when they start working with the commercial scale project, which is quite familiar with most of the software company they doing out there, I think when they go for interview, they literally speak in the same language with employer. So that's just brings a lot of close the gap for the people who want to get into the industry.
Yeah, definitely closes that gap. Definitely, Justin. Thank you. Another question from Mersha. Do you help with resume CV preparation?
So far from what I know, under MVP Studios, we got like a global talent recruitment team that's they normally running behind the scenes to help people to have all the potential their potential candidates by having them on the CVs and all the interview simulators, or kind of like we call that employability sessions. They keep running like once or twice a week. So that's what global talents from the recruitment company they're working on at on the MVP Studio.
Awesome. Thanks, Justin. Mersha's asking, what happens if I can't make the meetings that happen during the day? Do I get minutes or recording? I'm working during the day, won't be possible to attend live Zoom meetings, the meetings.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's you know, from MVP studios that, you know, we totally understand that the people are busy. All right, they're working during the time during the daytime. So that's why I mentions that we create quite flexible you know, internship structure. So whatever we got the meeting is fully recorded. And when the meeting is finished, we just send out the notification to all the interns that the meeting is finished. They can just watch the recording, you know, whenever at their pleasure time. And they can still, you know, scanning attendance and can do all sort of like gaining the points and stuff like that through the meeting. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's great to know, because there's a lot of people that are still working full time and are doing the internship, and you know,
Yes.
obviously you can't jump in on that Zoom. So great, they can watch the recording and everything, so they're not missing out. There's also another question. Can I skip 6 week? Oh, sorry. Sorry, everyone. The comments are coming in. Can I skip 6 week training and go straight into internship?
Well, I think one of the reasons why, you know, we're partnering with Interconnect is because we believe that, you know, for MVP studios, like the future interns, they need to go through the proper like 6 week training from, you know, all the senior people from Interconnect before they can join MVP studio, you know, for the internship. So that is the one of the criteria. But of course, you know, along the times that you will have some exemptions. But so far that I believe that the people, they don't know what they don't know until they go into 6 week training. They get trained by all the senior people in, you know, who currently work in the industry. So then they realize that, wow, this stuff is really great and all the essential knowledge that for them to gain during 6 weeks. And then they can use all of the knowledge. They can start applying into our commercial scale projects at MVP Studio.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, we're just going to have a look at, there's some other comments here. From Tran. Tran's asking, hi, I'm just wondering, there's only one project for BI developer. Would it be enough? And also, how far into the internship should I start applying for a job?
Well, I think this question is quite similar to Chris. And I saw that he's already answered for Don. Well done, Chris.
Oh, well done, Chris. You're awesome.
Yeah. Well, basically, like initially, after you complete, you know, 3 key sprints, which is like the onboarding process, then you can start picking, you know, you get start involved into all the different core team projects.
Yes, awesome. So I think that looks like we've come. Is there any other questions out there, people? Any other questions? I think I've gone through everything now. This is the perfect time to ask those questions. Oh, Gary. Hi, Gary. How long it can take to become data analyst BI?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on our side of things, I'll answer our bit and then you can take over, Justin. Okay, Gary. So you do the 6 week job ready program, the BI data analyst job ready program with Industry Connect. And then after those 6 weeks, you move over to MVP Studio, okay, for the internship. And I'm going to pass it over to Justin now. How long it can take to become a data analyst BI?
Well, I think it's quite similar, you know, into some of the questions before. I guess that, you know, like, well, based on my observations and based on my experience that I have been working with a lot of people, you know, I felt that, you know, it's taking, you know, various of times of you know, the different periods of people. It really depends on their own learning space. Okay. So sometimes it can take people for 3 months. Sometimes it takes 6 months. It really depends on how much effort that, you know, you put in. Because like if someone is putting 60 hours a week, you know, obviously they will get, you know, the position much faster than someone who put 10 hours a week. All right. Yeah. But so far from during the big market, you know, we found that from MVP Studio, we embrace like the celebrations and stuff like that when people they get the job. During the big market, I think normally we got about like 3 or 4 successful interns that they get a job like every single week. I think that's really great things.
Yeah, awesome. Hope that's answered that question for you, Gary. So it doesn't look like we've got any more questions there. Just checking, make sure I've got it all. Wonderful. Well, no more questions, but Justin, what would you like to say to everyone? Any last kind of thing to wrap everything up? Oh, awesome, Gary. Awesome. Just to wrap everything up.
Sure. Yeah. What I think, from my experience that I of course, I know that the reason I love, working with all the people is because my background is quite similar. All right. So everyone, when they first started something, of course, it's very difficult. All right. It's very difficult to get started. But the good thing is we need to start it.
Yes.
So I think I felt that the, as a I think along with all the questions over here, like the people they worry about like how long they will be successful, or how long it takes for them to become someone they want to be. All right. So to me is I believe, because from MVP Studio culture, we believe from 0 to 1. All right. So we need to get started. Okay. And then it's just all about how we enjoy a journey. Okay, so how we get surrounded by like-minded people, and when we look it back to ourselves 5 years, in the future, we feel so proud that, wow, look, I wrote so much, in the last 5 years. So that's what I felt. Like the happiness of growth is way more important. So I think it's like for people, just don't give up. Okay, so whatever you got, you fail. If you see it as a failure or you see it as a lesson, is really up to you. All right. But I recommend, or I encourage people to see them as the lessons that, whenever you fail, just go back, continue, until you're successful. That's what I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that, when you think, if you fall over or you think you failed, is it a failure or is it a lesson? I love that analogy, and definitely look at it as a lesson, everyone. Look at it as a lesson, because it's always one step closer to your goalpost, where you're wanting to go, where you're wanting to end up at. It's one step closer. Awesome. Yes. So everyone, just to wrap up as well, thank you so much, Justin, for your time, for answering all those questions. It's very, very informative, and I'm sure a lot of people got a lot out of this live tonight. And I just want to also just say to everyone, our next intake is on the 27th of July, so it's not very far away. It is only 12 days away, everyone. And so if you're interested in one of our job ready programs, please pop over to our website, industryconnect.org, and register your interest there. And then one of the team will be in touch with you. Thank you so much again, Justin. You're awesome. Thank you for your time, your energy, and answering all those questions. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.
Awesome. Thanks, Carla. Yeah, thanks, everyone, for asking questions. It's my pleasure, to be here today. So I love sharing whatever I know to all the people who need some advice. All right. So thanks, Carla, for giving me the opportunity. All right.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks so much, Justin. See you, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
See you, everyone.